Hello everybody, welcome to another episode of Art Whisper 88. On your screen you will see an arrangement of my reusable stencils. Now these are made of folder dividers that I got from a school supply. They're very inexpensive, they're non-toxic, and they are washable. That's what I like most about them. Now, they're not the cleanest because some paint just refuses to come off, but that's okay. If I get little flecks of paint, it just adds to the textures on the print. So I'm not too worried about that. But anyway, this is a 16 by 20 inch Gelli plate. And I am going to do a color palette that is a little more minimal. I have here Payne's gray and olive green and maybe a little bit of lime green. So I will do this as a first layer. So instead of Mars Black, I'm doing Payne's Gray. Then I will mix up some olive green here. Start with the olive green. Now I'm going very slow because these masks or stencils are they're not stuck on the plate that much. So I just have to be careful they don't lift up. And since this is somewhat a larger scale, I am working on the plate in sections. Now some viewer had made a comment, why don't you use a larger or wider brayer? And my reply was, a smaller brayer gives you more control. Because I use a brayer like a brush. And I like to create these small areas of color. And I could not do that with a wide brayer. Okay, I think I covered the entire surface. Now to get the stencils off, okay, I think I have them all. Just have to clean up this area here. Now, since this is the first layer, I'm going to let this dry and then apply a pickup layer. So I will be back in a few minutes. I have here some submissions from Europe, and I hope you like them. So I'll be right back. Okay, this first layer has dried. Now I'm going to use, this is Burnt Sienna by Lucas. I'm going to attempt a split fountain. So I will do a layer of burnt sienna here. And then this is acrylic raw sienna. Made a mess here. Now, acrylic has a lot of extenders, and that's why it's good for picking up layers. Now what I'm going to do is this second layer, I will let it sit for a few minutes to activate the first layer. Now this is my Richardson watercolor paper. Now this time I am using the pebble finish side, not the smooth side. Okay, so since I'm picking up 2 layers, I will leave this on for about 5 minutes, just to give the paper some chance to absorb the moisture of the paint. And the fibers of the paper grab onto the pigment, and then you have a successful transfer. When you pull the paper too soon, you don't give the paint a chance to grab onto the fibers. So a little patience goes a long way. Now the plate is sticking onto the paper, so I'm being very careful to peel this slowly. It's a very different result from what I was expecting, but nevertheless, it's interesting. There's a little tear over there. I'm glad I'm pulling this off now and not later. Okay. Yeah, I have a little tear here too. I can fix that. It's an interesting result. And because I use the pebble side, there's a lot of little white dots that gives a little more texture to it. So I'll let this air dry, and then I'll figure out the next step. So don't go away. I'm not sure if it's going to work, but I want to see if I can recover this ghost print here. Now this is Sand by Lucas. Again, I'm using the pebble finish side. Okay, I will leave this on for about 5 minutes. Okay, let's see how we made out. I don't know if you can see this on camera. When the paper has absorbed the paint, you will see a faint shadow of the edges of the gel plate. That means the fibers of the paper have absorbed the paint. Now this may work, it may not work. There's no real way of telling. I'm a little disappointed because I was hoping that I could pick up this brown color, but this still serves as a nice background for a possible second, third layer. So it's not a whole, not a loss completely. So I'll let this air dry and figure out what to do next. Okay, I'm going to do the last layer, and in a way I would call it damage control. I am doing a metallic copper in the middle. This will be a split fountain as well. And on the edges I will do this is called Dune by Lucas. And I think I'm almost gone. So what I'm going to do, since there's so many nooks and crannies here, I will use a brush to fill in the open spaces. So when doing layers like this, it's a good thing to stay calm when things don't go as you expected, because chances are the results will be nothing like what you expect. So the key here is to stay calm, not panic. Okay, so now I will even this out with a brayer. Now the brayer is going to get rid of all the high spots. So I'm going to start with the metallic. Now this is a little on the heavy side. In fact, there might be too much paint, but that's okay. The result will be more like an oil painting. clean this up. Okay. So here is the first pull. Now, since this is a very heavy application of paint, I'm not going to wait that long. Usually I leave it on for 5 minutes. I'm going to pull this now. Okay, something different. It has a very mid-century modern feel to it. I'm going to let this air dry and then recap. Now this ghost print is too good to waste. I think this will make a nice background for a collage. So all is not lost. So I will air dry both of these and just keep going. Okay, here's collage to the rescue. Now I have here my warm-up exercises, and I think these would look good on this background because of the contrast. So I have here some black tissue paper. I'm going to cut out a circle, or an onion ring as I like to call it. see how this works. Again, I'll be using my Mod Podge. Now I mixed it with a little bit of water, so it's easier to spread. Okay, I think that completes the picture. I will air dry this and recap. Okay, this has dried very well. Let me show you a close-up. So you can see the heavy texture of the paint, which gives a three-dimensional effect. And the pebble finish of the watercolor paper adds some more texture. So it's really a study of textures contrasting with each other rather than colors. Okay, let me show you the second piece. Now this is more of a minimalist, almost like a Zen Buddhist type image. Here's a close-up. Again, you can see the texture of the paper contrasting with the stark contrast with the collage elements. So there's always a way to salvage a piece that at first seems to be a disappointment, but I think it turned out all right. So I hope you liked this video. This was a lot of fun to do. It's got a lot of twists and turns and a lot of disappointments, but it still turned out all right. And just to show you that in this type of work, it's always good to be optimistic and try to find your way, because art making, printmaking, it's all about problem solving. And it's a journey of learning. Things don't always turn out the way you want, but it's a reflection of life itself. There are lots of twists and turns and unexpected events. So we need to learn to cope with them. So I hope you liked this video. Thank you so much for watching and subscribing. Thank you, my dear viewers, for sending your photos of your artwork for everyone to share. We are an ever-increasing community, and I am so happy to be sharing with you. Thank you, and I hope to see you next time.